Hi, everyone. This is Carla with Builderall Digital Marketing Solutions. Today, we're going to learn how to build a list in the email automation platform Mailing Boss. The reason you may choose to do this is because you want to collect information for your contacts. Back in the day when we saw, when we were not so dependent on computers, we used to pass a clipboard around the room. But now what we do is we encourage people to sign up via the internet. Okay. When you go into Mailing Boss, the first thing that you'll see is your back office for Mailing Boss or your Mailing Boss homepage. You'll see that you can choose to look at your subscribers or all the people who are subscribed to any of your lists. You can choose to look at your lists, your campaigns, or your workflow. Let me define what those things mean to you. A list is simply that, a list of people who signed up to be on receiving email from you. A campaign is a series of emails that goes out to people who are on your list that are set up to go out automatically. And a workflow is a series of actions that will take place based on what actions your clients or the subscribers to your list do or don't take. I'm not going to go into too much detail about workflows right now because that's a different tutorial, but you can do everything that I'm about to do in the create a list and create a campaign. You can do all of that from the workflow screen as well. Okay. You'll also see that you have the ability to create a workflow, create a subscriber list, and create a campaign. So if I wanted to create a new subscriber list, for example, for my website that where I sell my art, it's called Highest Purpose. So I am going to click on Highest Purpose Store and create a subscriber list for my store. Okay. And I'm going to just click copy and paste that here. And then I'm going to do a quick description. This list will keep customers up to date with new art releases in my store, as well as sales and promotions. Okay, that's a quick description of my list. Then what I do is I click continue. And now what I will get to choose is whether or not my customers have a double opt-in or, as you can see here, a single opt-in. And I recommend a double opt-in. And the reason for that is because the double opt-in means that your customers will have to typically the double opt-in is that they put their email address in on one field and then they click submit, and then they get a confirmation that says check your email to confirm your subscription, and then they click a link within the email which confirms their subscription. And the nice thing about the double opt-in is that they have to check an email and confirm their subscription, which means you're getting valid emails. With a single opt-in, that can lead to people who are putting in erroneous email addresses or fake email addresses, and you might get more bounces if you use a single opt-in option. However, it might be worth it for you to use a single opt-in option if you're using your collecting your leads while you're selling a product. Then you're sure that your client wants to you're more sure that your client wants to join the list. So you might choose only a single opt-in, but I don't. I choose double opt-in. I also choose double opt-out. So rather than just click one link that says unsubscribe, it does require them to go back in their email and click a link to confirm their unsubscription. Okay. I don't have any particular tags in this list at this point, but if ever I were to create some, I can go back and adjust it. Now I've saved my list, okay? Now within a list, I can choose what information I want from my clients. And so what I can do is I can come down here, and when you create a list in Builderall, it will set one single text field for your customers to fill out, and that is the email field. But for me, it's important to speak to my clients directly, to be able to call them by name. So I want to know who I'm dealing with. I don't want it to just be an email address. I want to be able to add a text field. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click add a text field, and I'm going to put in here first name. And you can see that I've used this before, so the intuitive or the responsive system uses an option that I've chosen before. I'm going to set my tag as F name. This is all capitals. Give me 1 second. It's not allowing me to reset that. I'm not sure why it's not letting me set a new tag here. Let me try this. I'm trying to delete it and it's not letting me either, so that's unusual. I am going to require that to be visible. I'm actually going to make this the first thing that they see and the email the second thing that they see. And then I'm going to I'm not sure why it's not letting me adjust the tag. I should be able to put a capital FNAME here. Oh, I know why. I made a mistake. This is email. Okay. This tag is first name, and this is gonna, the tag is gonna, I'm sorry, this field is first name and this tag is gonna be F name. Now you'll notice that my tag is all capital letters and there are no spaces, and that's the way that one should indicate tags. They should be letters or numbers, all capitals and no spaces. I actually want the email address to be the next thing that I see. And I'm going to have to ship information, or I'm going to have to ship a product to these customers. So I'm going to add another field, and I'm going to see if there is a field for addresses, but I don't see one. So I'm going to add another text field, and I'm going to call this last name, and I'm going to call that L name, and I'm not going to require it. Well, actually, I am going to require it because I'm going to have to send them some mail, you see. And that's going to be actually the second thing in the order, because first name, last name, and then the email address will be the third thing. And then I am going to see if I can get, I want a phone number for them because I might have to call them about their order. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little note in here. I will use this method to reach you if email doesn't work, and I have a question about your order. Okay. And then I will click that. And I am also going to add an address field, and and then I'm gonna just put address. It is going to be required because they're going to have to, oh, actually, no, not for this. This is just for an email list, so I don't need that. I can make my phone number not required, and I'm actually going to make the last name not required because this is just for my email list, and I've captured all of their other information, all of their shipping information when they paid for the product. Okay, so now I've added a few fields for my list so that I can get some information about my customers. And the reason that I did this is I added the first name field. I'm going to make it mandatory. And the reason is because then I can personalize the emails that I send to them by using this tag, this F name tag. I'm going to show you how to do that in just a minute. Okay. So I also get to choose if I want to list these custom fields. So if I wanted to create a GDPR field, if I were to click this create first and last name field now, after I've already created them, it would duplicate the field. So just keep that in mind. And then I just click all the privacy policy stuff. I really want my people to agree to I'm just going to do the terms of use and privacy policy together, and then I'm going to do a disclaimer notice that they've read that. And then I'm going to just save all of my changes. And then when my customer goes through, they'll just fill out those fields. Now, what you can see about my highest purpose store list is that I don't have any subscribers right now. I do have 6 fields in my list, and I currently don't have any pages or forms or anything else. Now, let's say that I wanted to create a new email campaign within this list, and perhaps it would include several emails to my customer about welcome to highest purpose store, and then a couple of days later I want to send them, or maybe a week later, say I hope you've had an opportunity to look around. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a campaign, and I'm just going to call this highest purpose. And I'm also going to just copy this name and name my sequence the same thing. Okay, that way it keeps everything aligned for me. Everything that's related to highest purpose store will be called highest purpose store, and I won't confuse myself. Okay, now you'll look down here and you'll see some statistical information here. You'll be able to see how much your subscribers have increased from one date to the next. Also, how responsive your subscribers are, how many of them are clicking the links that you're putting into your sites, and how many of them are confirming their email address and so forth. You can also see your bounce rate for your emails compared with your delivery rate, and how many people unsubscribe from your list. All of this information is really valuable because if you're getting people who come to your list and they stay for maybe a week or two and then they unsubscribe, then that lets you know that you've got to do something to keep them engaged and to keep them on your list. Okay. Also, if you're putting links in your emails, but your guests, the recipient, your subscribers aren't clicking on them, then that tells you that you may need to do something related with your verbiage or your marketing to encourage people to click the links. Okay, so that's just a couple of ways that these can be valuable tools for you. We've already created the list, and now what we're going to do is we're going to look at creating a campaign. We're going to do that in the next tutorial, and I hope you'll join me for that.